Hey, this is Scott Sumter with Bike Iowa. It's week 15, August 28th. Can you believe week 15? Sorry it's so late today. We lost power about 3 p.m. We were just getting the laptop set up, ready to go. Power went out. Mid-American sent a email saying we were a few hours out. By the time it came on, we had some other things to do, so we're just getting rolling today. Uh, our studio is not lit up anymore by the sun, so we've got a auxiliary light. So if the lighting looks funky, you know, we'll just have to deal with it. So this is where every Friday we tell you what's on my radar for on the Iowa cycling scene. Every week we could probably do 15 of these things, but we keep it to five. Keep her slow. Small list. So number one is back to school teamwork. So it's back to school week for most, and kudos and a shout out to Kyle's Bikes and the Henson Web Group. Henson Web Group's a local wealth management company around the Des Moines, Ankeny area. They teamed up this week to donate 100 water bottles to a local Ankeny elementary school. Due to COVID-19, the water fountains in the school were shut off for drinking, but the water bottle fill feature station was still on. So teachers shared some concerns and a word got out to Kyle's Bikes, and they donated 100 water bottles for children who may not have reusable water bottles. So, way to help out Kyle and crew. Thank you. Number two, Salsa Cycles recalls the Cutthroat V2 fork. So we know the Salsa Cutthroat's a pretty popular gravel bike in Iowa, and we know a lot of friends with them. We've seen a lot of people at races or rides with them. So we just wanted to call this out real quick. On Wednesday, Salsa released a safety notice alerting owners, and if you didn't know about it, hopefully this is has some heads up. They received a few reports on the V2 forks cracking and breaking, which caused a crash and serious injury to the rider. So good on Salsa. They called a not really a recall, it's more of a safety notice. But the affected forks are identifiable by their serial number, which is visible when the fork is removed from the frame. Fork serial numbers with the middle portion containing CCAPG or CCCPG are in the affected production range and subject to the safety notice. All other forks, if you're not doesn't have those serial numbers, you're not affected. So if you have one of those forks, go to Bike Iowa. There's a link out to the recall site. There's phone numbers. It tells you who to contact. Just look at one of the first news items on Bike Iowa. Number three, bars in 6 counties close until September 20th. So yesterday, Governor Kim Reynolds announced a press conference that bars, taverns, breweries, and nightclubs in certain Iowa counties must close by 5 p.m. yesterday. So it gave them about 6 hours notice that they were going to be closed or altered hours for the next 24 days. This is through the increased spread of COVID. So the 6 counties are Blackhawk, Dallas, Johnson, Linn, Polk, and Story. So the proclamation affects many bicycle-friendly businesses, many Bike Iowa sponsors. So, and many of our friends either own or work at the bars and breweries. So they're all going to be affected for at least the next 20 days. These bars and breweries are closed for normal business, but they can still sell to-go items. So we're talking like Fire Trucker Brewery, the Triangle Tap, AJ's on East Court, Fender's Brewing, and the Red Monk. And then the restaurants, they must stop selling alcohol by 10 p.m. So places like Sully's Irish Pub, Barntown Brewing, Fong's Pizza, Nighthawk Bar and Grill, Hessen House, High Life Lounge, Iowa Tap Room, Captain Roy's, University Library Cafe, El Bait Shop, Whiskey River at the District, Victory Lane, Truman's KC Pizza Tavern, and the Royal Mile. So these businesses support us and they support our bicycling community. As we said from the last time they were closed down, just asking if you can't support them, take out food, take out to go alcohol, refreshments, still support them during this second round here. And also, since we wrote this morning, it looks like there's a lawsuit that's been filed by bar owners in the association. It looks like Tonic in West Des Moines is heading up the charge. More to come as we hear about that, but they're trying to get the revocation reversed. saying that they want to either increase the drinking age or change it around because there's certain bars and restaurants that just don't have that clientele where the increased COVID numbers are. Number 4, Ragbri Roadshow. So Ragbri recently came out with 8 events that they're going to host throughout the state. It's called the Ragbri Roadshow. These events start on the September 5th and end on October 17th. The Ragbri folks will be set up in bicycle-friendly locations, and they'll bring the Ragbri mini merchandise trailer. And Dieter Drake, the ride coordinator, will be hosting rides along the trail during each pop-up event. The merch trailer is going to be stocked with 2020 merchandise, discounted outlet merch, and then some new fall apparel. There will be giveaways including apparel, refreshments, and food. And all these events are on Saturday except for one, and we'll mention that below. So on September 5th, they'll be at the High Trestle Trail Flat Tire Lounge in Madrid. September 12th, Cedar River Trail Kickstand, Cedar Rapids. Thursday, this is the only one on Thursday, September 17th, Wabash Trace Nature Trail, Toby Jack's Steakhouse in Mineola. They'll be out there for the taco ride. September 19th, Raccoon River Trailhead in Waukee. September 26th, Cedar Valley Nature Trail, the County Home Road Trailhead, Linn County. October 3rd, High Trestle Trail, Nighthawk Bar and Grill in Slater. October 10th, Great Western Trail, the Coming Tap. October 17th, Neil Smith Trail, Captain Roy's. And they wanted me to say that all locations and dates are subject to change based off of COVID and really whatever else 2020 has up its sleeve. You never know by the week. All these events are posted on the Bike Iowa calendar, and definitely read the details about COVID restrictions. They thought through all the precautions to take, so it's just not a all-out party event. No, like there's no cash could be taken. It's all going to be credit card. You must wear a mask up to the trailer. All the rides aren't. They're not actually mass start rides. They're just destination type rides. So anyway, take a look at that. Like I say, all 8 events are posted on the event calendar, starting September 5th through October 17th. Number 5, Heather Pacovichovich, Big Sky Spectacular. Heather Pacovichovich from Des Moines. She rides with Velarosa Cycling, and she is no stranger to the ultra endurance gravel races. So in 2019, she finished the inaugural 347-mile Iowa Wind and Rock gravel race out of Winterset. She finished that in 31 hours, 16 minutes. She finished together with Janie Hayes, and they were second overall in the race, and they tied for first place women. Only 6 people finished the Iowa Wind and Rock that year when 58 started. So, number one, badass for finishing that one. In 2019, Heather won the Hoodoo 500 in Utah. Yeah, overall winner. And she set the women's fastest time ever. So this past week, she raced the Big Sky Spectacular out of Bozeman, Montana. It's a 968 single stage, self-supported competitive adventure bikepacking race around the southwest and central Montana. The route goes over many passes and valleys and ventures into Montana's agricultural wheat and barley heartland. They call that the Golden Triangle. It crosses the Continental Divide twice, and it starts and ends in Bozeman, so one big loop. The route is primarily asphalt with about 200 miles of gravel. Yeah, only 200 miles. And there's no money or no prize money or awards for this race. You just do it. So here's a quick rundown of Heather's race. Day 1, this was August 24th, so this is recent. She actually finished today, and I'll get to that. So 221 miles. She slept in Jackson with a few others. They were still a pack rolling. Day 2, it looks like a 220-mile day. A few of them stopped to sleep at mile 439. Day 3, so this is where it gets interesting. The leader, his name was Evan Deutsch from Portland, put smack down, opened up a big gap on the field, including Heather and Janie. But even with Evan's big push, the event coordinator stated that quote, Heather had the ride of the day. In this location, riders have to pretty much race to make a ferry. It's called the Virgil Ferry. So what's the big deal about making the ferry? The ferry only runs from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So if you miss that window, you're basically going to be sleeping on the banks of the Missouri River for 12 hours. So that morning, Heather left at 4 a.m. with plans to make that ferry. She rode 210 miles, kept on pace that whole time. Of that 210, 72 miles was gravel. She increased the gap and left others behind throughout the day. So here's what's the cool part. She arrived at the ferry 5 minutes before it left. Think about that. 5 minutes, otherwise you're waiting for 12 hours. So after the ferry ride, not sure how long that was, um, basically across the Missouri River. She pushed late into the night. She stopped at Fort Benton. Day 4, there's not much details on Heather's ride, but the winner, Evan, finished at 4:30 p.m. with a stunning time of 3 days, 12 hours, and 44 minutes. That's roughly 270 miles a day. Wow. So Janie Hayes, her friend and competitor from Iowa Wind and Rock and this race, and I believe the Hoodoo 500 as well, she scratched at mile 841. Not sure why. So that left Heather pretty solid second place. So day 5 this morning, she finished at 8:49 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. 968 miles in, making her the second place overall finisher and definitely the first place woman. Her last day's distance was 236.3 miles. So overall, this 968 miles, overall average speed 9.8 mile an hour, and moving average speed was 14 mile an hour. Third place when Heather finished was 344 miles behind Heather. So obviously they didn't make the ferry, and that gap increased. So her setup, she looked like she traveled pretty light. They had a couple videos on it. I paused, kind of saw what she was using. She had a Salsa Warbird generator hub, only a partial frame bag with one water bottle underneath. She had a good sized seat bag, probably a medium or a large. Looked like maybe a Revelate. Looks like she had a tent or bivy pole sticking up out over the seat bag. She had a gas can on her top tube, aero bars, a small Camelback on her back with water, clipboard for cue cards, and that's about it. So huge shout out. Congrats to Heather for that race. Kick ass. Um, Also interesting, her coach, Grade Grand George, he also raced. He's the one who finished with Heather at the Iowa Wind and Rock. He also raced this race. He was out of the race at 612 miles, not sure why, but he was averaging about 229 miles per day. Greg also finished the Wind and Rock, like I just said, and he was second place male. I think we'll feature Greg on a future Friday Fives as he's a pretty amazing endurance athlete, coach, and definitely has some deep notches on his racing bedpost. So that's it for this week. Sorry we're so late. Hopefully you will find some enjoyment and some education out of this. You can find all these items on Bike Iowa. Remember, we'll do this every Friday during the summer. Post it on Facebook, Instagram, Live, Twitter, YouTube. And if you've got something you want us to share, ping me on Facebook or send me an email at biker@bikeiowa.com. Ride safe, stay healthy. Have a great weekend.